Good morning, everyone. Good and Erev Shabbos. Today it's Friday, May 14th, third day of Sivan, as we head into Shabbos, Parshas Bamidbar, and immediately following Shabbos, of course, we have Erev Shavuos. We have an incredible programming lined up for Shavuos for men, women, children. Erica and Jeremy Brown will be here, and we look forward to seeing everybody back. Kiddush is back, youth programming is back, and there's so much that's going on. I also want to take this opportunity to wish a mazel tov to Sherry Beth and Jeff Suskin, who will be celebrating the Afraf. Jacob's Afraf is this Shabbos. Jacob is reading the Haftorah, God willing, in true Maryland Terrapin style. So we look forward to that. And of course, the wedding later this week. Next week, that is. And again, so much is going on. Mazel tov, great to have Simchas here in Shul. And of course, we'll be continuing with our Shel Shudas, sponsored by the Mandil family. I also want to remind everyone, of course, that June 9th is our annual fundraiser barbecue, extremely important event to make sure that we can keep everything going here at the Shul. We would love to have as many participate as possible at a beautiful outdoor venue, our barbecue, lots of fun, but more importantly, to help support your Shul that has been there for you throughout thick and thin. June 9th, please don't wait. Register now, get your ads in, make your donations, and then double them. Yesterday, we had an incredible show here at Shul with the Nachum Segal Network, JM and the AM broadcast for 3 hours from our Shul. You'll see it on this email, attached to this email. The recording of the show, I recommend that you listen to it. And really, such great publicity for our Shul, but really highlighting all the incredible work that we do here at Eitz Chaim and highlighting the membership and the beauty of our Shul and of our community. So thank you to everyone that helped make that possible, particularly to Nachum Segal and Miriam Wallach and Yoni Pollack, who made sure that everything worked well, flowed well, and it was really a pleasure to be a part of. And when we were doing the show, we were kind of wondering, is this appropriate because of what's going on in Israel, which is something that's weighing very, very heavily on our minds, on my mind. As you know, our daughter is in Israel. She called us several times from the bomb shelter, which, you're kind of used to it in Israel, but when it's your child, but also in Herzliya, which is not usually associated with bomb shelters and having to go in them, and residents of Tel Aviv, and we've seen the traumatic life that this past week all of Israel has had to endure. It's just really no other civilization would ever tolerate that or put their citizens under such a conditions. But this is Israel, and things are different standards. And what's even more disturbing is the internal strife that's taking place. Is one thing to have rockets coming from outside of Israel, but then from within Israel to have rioting, looting, and loot. At least 5 synagogues were burned to the ground. And if that doesn't bring back sort of eerie, horrific memories of Eastern Europe back in the 30s and 40s, I don't know what does. And to see that in our holy land of Israel is just something that's so disturbing. And you ask, what is it that you can do? Well, there's a lot that you can do. Well, you'll see attached to this also are your action alerts. Please contact your lawmakers. They do keep track of all of those calls and emails. And I have to say that we have 3 lawmakers here, 2 senators and a congresswoman, and our congresswoman just released a statement, and I'm not going to share it here. Please look it up. But suffice it to say that I and many others are extremely disappointed. We talk about moral equivalency and we talk about not taking a position. It's very, very weak in my opinion. And we're fans of hers. We're friends of hers, and we support her. But we do feel that she needs to come out stronger in support of Israel. Won't even name a Hamas terrorist organization by name, acting as if it's just 2 sides not getting along and can't we all just play nicely. And I think that's just completely insufficient. So please call her office, email, let them know that this is not good enough, because this is not the way the world works. And that's the message, really, of going into Shavuos and going into a Shabbos before Shavuos, where one of the hallmarks of celebrating Shavuos is Vayichan Sham Neged Ahar. Rashi tells us that when the Jewish people came to Mount Sinai to receive the Torah, it says that they encamped by the mountain. Vayichan written in the singular. And it says, Ki ish echad belev echad. They came as one, and why is it written singular? Because they came as one man, as one person with one heart. And that was the extreme display of Jewish unity, something that we probably have not seen since, or have not even gotten close to since. Jewish unity is something that we talk about. And as I've mentioned a few times over the course of these broadcasts, that unity does not mean conformity. And something that came out as a highlight of our community and the show yesterday with Nachum Siegel, the phrase that he used and was really brought forth by Jeremy Halpern, where he said that we have diversity and unity, and they're not mutually exclusive. And that's something that we have to look at. We all have different views of Israel, different views of the political landscape, what should be done, what shouldn't be done. That's fine. But we have to be unified in our support for our brothers and sisters in Israel. If you don't have relatives, blood relatives that are running back and forth to bomb shelters, if you're not torn apart by families that have been devastated, lost their homes, loss of life, for doing nothing other than just trying to live their lives, where if you're not disturbed by the message that's going out by some prominent lawmakers, accusing Israel of being a terrorist nation, accusing the prime minister of war crimes, accusing the Jewish state of ethnic cleansing, if that doesn't disturb you, then we have to have another conversation, because that's not what's happening. We just want to function in the greatest democracy in the Middle East, greatest ally of the United States, and the response from our community and our lawmakers has to be one of unity. It has to be one where we agree that we have to support the state of Israel and support the right of the citizens of the state of Israel to live in peace and not have to hide in bomb shelters. And as I mentioned on the show and a couple of times, that my only regret right now is that I can't be there, because would I be able to? I would, to show our solidarity and to be able to help where we can. And by the way, there are ways that we're helping. I have something that we can really do, and please ask me about it. I'm not going to discuss it here right now. We're still working on a program, but an emergency campaign to really save lives in Israel, which is sad that we have to even come to that point. But as we enter this Shabbos before Shavuos, we have a simcha here, but let's keep with an open heart and keep our tefillas going for the soldiers and for the citizens of the state of Israel. And let's hope that we'll hear good news out of the state of Israel very, very soon, that our loved ones are safe and all of our brothers and sisters are safe. And please, please make your voices heard, especially on social media, where the younger generation now, that's where they get all of their information. We have to put out our information as well. Please, please, please do this. I beg of you, because if we remain silent, then we will only have ourselves to blame. So let's hope that it'll be a peaceful Shabbos in Israel, a celebratory Shabbos here. Let's hope that it'll be a peaceful Yom Tov in Israel. Let's hope that we'll have an educational, inspiring, uplifting Yom Tov here. I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. And again, please make your voices heard, and please continue to daven for each and every soul in the state of Israel.